السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. الحمد لله وكفى وسلام على عباده الذين اصطفى أما بعد. يقول الله تبارك وتعالى في كلامه المجيد بعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم شهر رمضان الذي أنزل فيه القرآن هدى للناس وبينات من الهدى والفرقان فمن شهد منكم الشهر فليصمه. صدق الله العظيم. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. اللهم بارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. My dear respected brothers and sisters in Islam, Qur'an was revealed in the month of Ramadan, coming from the Lawh Mahfuz near the Arsh of Allah to the first heavens, took place in the month of Ramadan, and also the first revelation, Iqra bismi rabbika alladhi khalaq, khalaqal insana min alaq, Iqra wa rabbukal akram, alladhi allama bil qalam, allama al insana ma lam ya'lam. These first 5 ayats of Surah Alaq took place, the revelation took place in the month of Ramadan, the best of times, the best of days. And who has sent the Qur'an? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala introduces himself. One cannot truly appreciate or value the Qur'an if he does not understand the greatness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If he does not understand the sender who has sent the Qur'an, how will he ever appreciate the greatness of the Qur'an? So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala introduces himself as I am the one who has sent the Qur'an. Tanzeelam mimman khalaqal arda was samawatil ula. This revelation is from who? The one who has created the earth and the high heavens. Tanzeelum minar rahmanir rahim. This revelation is from who? This revelation is from Rahman, Rahim, the most gracious, the most merciful. Tanzeelum min hakimin hamid. This revelation is from who? Who is sending this Qur'an? From the one who is Hakim, all wise, Hamid, full of praise. Tanzeelum min Rabbil Alameen. This revelation is from who? From Rabbil Alameen. So we understand that this Qur'an is from Allah. Kalamul muluk, mulukul kalam. There's a saying that the king's speech is the king of all speeches. The speech of the king is the king of all speeches. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's Qur'an is the king of all speeches. Why? Because Allah himself is the king of kings. Who did he send the Qur'an through? Nazala bihir ruhul amin. Jibreel alayhi salam, ruhul amin, the trusted angel. And when the Jews of Medina, they had a problem with Jibreel alayhi salam. They said if someone else other than Jibreel had brought the Qur'an, then we would have believed in it. Jibreel is the same angel who has brought the punishment from Allah to the previous nations. So we don't like Jibreel alayhi salam. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala answered, Man kana aduwwan lillahi wa malaikatihi wa rusulihi wa Jibrila wa Mikala fa inna Allaha aduwwun lil kafirin. Whoever is an enemy of Jibreel is an enemy of mine. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala equated the animosity or enmity against Jibreel as having enmity against Allah himself. And where did the Quran come to? It came to ala qalbika. It came on the heart of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The most pure of hearts, the heart that has the most taqwa out of all the human beings in the world. So Allah Azza wa Jal, the creator of the heavens and the earth, sent the Quran through Jibreel Amin to the heart of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And it was the heart of Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam that was able to accept the Qur'an. Qur'an itself says, Inna sanulqi alayka qawlan thaqila. We are going to put a heavy load on you, O Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Such a heavy load, Qur'an says, Inna law nazzalna hadha al-Qur'an ala jabal la ra'aytahu khashiyan mutasaddian min khashyatillah. If this load, if the Qur'an, if this wahi was sent on a mountain, the mountain would crush and shatter to pieces. And it was the heart of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam that was made capable of receiving, becoming the first recipient of the Qur'an. Zayd ibn Harith, a Sahabi, he says, once Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam had his head on my lap and revelation started to come, wahi started to come. My lap became so heavy it felt as if the bones were about to crush in my lap. Once Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam was on his camel, revelation came, wahi started to come. Because of the sheer weight, the load of this wahi, the camel sat down. This was a weight, it was a heavy weight. Inna sanulqi alayka qawlan thaqila. We are going to put on you a heavy weight. Quran sent by who? Allah, the King of Kings. Through who? The best of angels, Jibreel alayhi salam. Where? To the best of hearts, the heart of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam. When? In the month of Ramadan. Where? In the best of all cities, Makkatul Mukarramah. Ahabbul bilad ilallah, Makkatul Mukarramah. The most dearest city to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is Makkatul Mukarramah. This is a brief introduction of the Quran from the Quran itself. Today we are going to try to understand and appreciate the Quran through the verses of the Quran. How does the Quran describe itself? Quran describes itself, Uhkimat ayatuhu thumma fussilat. That each and every single ayah, verse of the Quran has been made distinct and clear. How does the Quran describe itself? Innahu laqawlun fasl wama huwa bil hazl. This is the truth. It is the final judgment. Wama huwa bil hazl. It is no joke. It is no idle talk. It is not the literary work of Shakespeare or some other person. This is the speech of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Innahu laqawlun fasl wama huwa bil hazl. How does the Quran describe itself? Qur'anan Arabiyya. Qur'anan Arabiyya. This is the Quran in Arabic language. Why? So that you understand. Bushram bayna yaday. Quran describes itself as being the good news, the bearer of good news and glad tidings. Quran describes itself, La ya'tihil batil min bayni yadayhi wala min khalfi. Falsehood cannot approach the Quran from the front or from the back. How does the Quran describe itself? Dhalikal kitab la rayba fi. This book, there is no doubt in it. How does the Quran describe itself? Musaddiqan lima bayna yaday min al kitab wa muhaiminan alay. This Quran confirms the Torah, confirms the Injil, confirms the Zabur that came before it, and wa muhaiminan alay, and is a guard, watchful eye over the previous scriptures. Muhaimin, it points out where the previous scriptures, muhaimin, points out where the previous scriptures have gone wrong. Let me give you a few examples. Of course, we know Quran clearly states Isa alayhi salam is not the son of God. But there are numerous places in the Quran where if one was not familiar with the Torah or the Bible, he would not know that Quran is actually pointing out a mistake. وَلَقَدْ خَلَقْنَا السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضَ وَمَا بَيْنَهُمَا فِي سِتَّةِ أَيَّامٍ. Indeed, we have created the heavens and the earth and whatever is between the heavens and the earth the sun, the moon, the stars, the planets, the rivers, the mountains, the trees, fi sittati ayyam, in 6 days. Bible says the world was created in 6 days. So far so good? Then Quran says, wama massana min lughub, we did not become tired. We did not become tired. What is Quran pointing out? That God did not need to rest on the 7th day after creating the world in 6. One who needs to rest on a Sunday, the one who is tired. Allah Azza wa Jal never gets tired. So yes, He did create in 6 days. وَمَا مَسَّنَا مِن لُغُوبٍ. And no, we did not become fatigued or exhausted after 6 days that we needed to rest. Musa alayhi salam leaves Harun alayhi salam in charge and goes to Mount Tur to receive the Torah. So far so good? Allah Azza wa Jal says, قال إِنَّا قَدْ فَتَنَّا قَوْمَكَ مِنْ بَعْدِكَ وَأَضَلَّهُمُ السَّامِرِي. O Musa, we have put your people in trial and tribulation with the worship of the calf. We have put your people in trial and tribulation after you left them. وَأَضَلَّهُمُ السَّامِرِي. And Samiri misled them. Samiri led them astray. Why would Quran say Samiri led them astray? Because in the Bible it is believed that Harun alayhi salam led them astray. So Quran is pointing out, it's not Harun alayhi salam who led them astray. وَأَضَلَّهُمُ السَّامِرِي. Samiri led them astray. Quran is muhaymin. Another example. وَضْمُمْ يَدَكَ إِلَى جَنَاحِكَ تَخْرُجْ بَيْضَاءَ مِنْ غَيْرِ سُوءٍ. O Musa, take your hand towards your right arm under your shoulder and bring it out. تَخْرُجْ بَيْضَاء, white, shining white. This was a miracle for Musa alayhi salam. مِنْ غَيْرِ سُوءٍ. And this hand of Musa alayhi salam, shining bright white, was min ghayri su, was not a blemish, was not a defect, was not a disease, was not an illness. Now why is Quran pointing this out, that Musa alayhi salam's hand shining bright white was not a disease or a defect? Because in the Old Testament it is believed that that was a disease of Moses. Min ghayri su. So Quran clarifies, muhaymin, that this was a miracle of Allah, it was no disease. So do we truly appreciate the Quran? This is the month of the Quran. If we just simply look at the verses of the Quran and try to understand what Allah has said about the Quran itself. I've mentioned verses after verses. أُحْكِمَتْ آيَاتُهُ ثُمَّ فُصِّلَتْ إِنَّهُ لَقَوْلٌ فَصْلٌ ذَلِكَ الْكِتَابُ لَا رَيْبَ فِيهِ وَاتَّبَعُوا النُّورَ الَّذِي أُنزِلَ مَعَهُ. Quran has been described as Nur. Nur that has been revealed to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Nur that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam came with. And then Quran is a mu'jiza. How is Quran a mu'jiza? Mu'jiza, we all understand, is a miracle. Mu'jiza, miracle, is something that everyone else is incapable of doing. Musa alayhi salam turning his stick into a snake was a mu'jiza. Was anyone capable of doing it? Magicians, they did not turn their sticks and ropes into snakes. يُخَيَّلُ إِلَيْهِ مِنْ سِحْرِهِمْ أَنَّهَا تَسْعَى. It seemed, it was a delusion, or it was an illusion. It seemed to the people, to the bystanders, to Musa alayhi salam himself, that those sticks had turned into snakes, when in reality what the magicians did was magic, and those sticks and ropes did not turn into snake. What Musa alayhi salam's stick, it turned into a snake, into an actual snake. Mu'jiza. So this is a mu'jiza, an example. Quran, we say, is a mu'jiza. How is it a mu'jiza? In brief, is anyone capable of bringing an ayah, a verse of the Quran, a surah of the Quran that can resemble the Quran or come even close to it in its eloquence? Qur'an challenges 4 times, and this is a standing challenge, an open challenge from the time of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam till Qiyamah. Qur'an challenges on 4 different occasions. قُلْ لَإِنِ اجْتَمَعَتِ الْإِنسُ وَالْجِنُّ عَلَىٰ أَنْ يَأْتُوا بِمِثْلِ هَذَا الْقُرْآنِ لَا يَأْتُونَ بِمِثْلِهِ وَلَوْ كَانَ بَعْضُهُمْ لِبَعْضٍ ظَهِيرًا. If all the human beings and all the jinns were together, a collective effort, put all their human resources, their brain power together, they could not come up with anything like the Qur'an. They cannot bring together a book like the Qur'an. This is a book. Qur'an is saying bring a book like the Qur'an. Can't do it? Okay, Qur'an has another challenge. فَأْتُوا بِعَشَرِ سُوَرٍ مِثْلِي. In another verse of the Qur'an, bring 10 surahs like the Qur'an. Bring 10 surahs that can compare to 10 surahs of the Qur'an. Can't do it? Qur'an says, okay, we'll lower the bar. We will lower the bar for you one more time. فَأْتُوا بِسُورَةٍ مِثْلِي. Bring a surah like a surah of the Qur'an. Bring a surah similar to a surah of the Qur'an. Can't do it? Qur'an challenges a 4th time. فَلْيَأْتُوا بِحَدِيثٍ مِثْلِي. Bring even a single ayah similar to an ayah of the Qur'an. Can't do it? Have never been able to do it? Will never be able to do it. وَإِن كُنْتُمْ فِي رَيْبٍ مِّمَّا نَزْ. This, of course, we don't appreciate. Why? Because part of it is we don't understand the Arabic language. But one thing we can all appreciate and all relate to. لا يخلق وان كثرة الرد. Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, repetition, repeating will not bring boredom. It does not get old. How many times have we recited Surah Fatiha in our lives? Think the thousands and thousands of times we have recited Surah Fatiha. Is there any one person who can say, I am bored of Surah Fatiha? Every time you recite a surah of the Quran, any surah, Surah Fatiha, or any surah, any ayah of the Quran, you feel like hearing it again and again. You hear a song, the best, the most melodious song in the world. After a few times, 3 times, 4 times, 10 times, 12, 15, maximum around 10, 15 times, you get sick and tired of that song and you never want to hear it again for the rest of your life. This is the miracle, i'jaz of the Quran. They would hang the best poetry on the Kaaba. And they would not bring that poetry down until there was another poem that could rival it or was even better than it. Then they would bring the previous one down and they would put this new one up. A time came when there were 7 poems from 7 different poets on the wall of the Kaaba, because they were all very similar in their excellence. They came very close. People could not decide or judge which one was better than the other. It's called Sab'a Mu'allaqat, the 7 hung poetries on the Kaaba. And then a time came when Quran was being revealed. And as Quran came, if that poet was still alive, he himself would take down his poem. If he was dead, his family, his relatives would take down that poem, that poetry. Time came when 6 poems came down. The family members took it down one after the other, because nothing could compare to the Quran. There was one poem left of Imra'ul Qais. Imra'ul Qais. He had died. People came to his sister and said, Quran has started coming, is being revealed. You might as well take down your brother's poetry. Imra'ul Qais. And it was truly one of the best poems Arabia had ever produced. She said, not yet, not yet. Not yet. Then finally, the verse in Surah Hud, وَاسْتَوَتْ عَلَى الْجُودِ وَقِيلَ يَا أَرْضُ ابْلَعِي مَاءَكَ وَيَا سَمَاءِ أَقْلِعِي وَغِيضَ الْمَاءِ وَقُضِيَ الْأَمْرُ وَاسْتَوَتْ عَلَى الْجُودِيِّ وَقِيلَ بُعْدًا لِلْقَوْمِ الظَّالِمِينَ. When this verse was revealed, she brought down her brother's poetry. 19 words. This ayah has how many words? 19. How many rules of elegance, balaghat, of eloquence are found in these 19 words? 21, which is impossible for a human being. And we told the sky to stop. This is the flood of Nuh alayhi salam. And we told the ground to suck up the water. And the land was dried. And the ark halted. And away with the doom, and away with the people who rebelled against Allah. You would appreciate this. And we would appreciate it, of course, if we understood. But Qur'an is mu'jiza. This is the month of the Qur'an. It is a time for us to read the Qur'an, to understand the Qur'an, to ponder over the Qur'an, and more importantly, to implement the Qur'an, to apply the Qur'an in our lives, to bring the Qur'an into our lives. Not just to pick and choose what we like. One verse of the Qur'an I will end with. The topic is to understand and appreciate the Qur'an through verses of the Qur'an. There's one verse of the Qur'an that I will end with. Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam, he did not make an appeal to Allah against those people who injured him in the battle of Uhud. Did he? No. As a matter of fact, he said, Allahumma ghfir qawmi fa innahum la ya'lamun. Oh Allah, forgive them because they don't know. They don't know that I am the Nabi of Allah. If they knew, if they believed that I was the Nabi of Allah, of course they would not have done this to me. Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam did not make an appeal to Allah against those people who injured his daughter. And eventually she died in that injury. Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam did not make an appeal to Allah against Wahshi, who killed his uncle. But Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam made an appeal to Allah against those people who abandoned the Quran. Ya Rabbi, this is a verse of the Quran. Ya Rabbi, inna qawmi ittakhadhu hadha al-Qur'ana mahjura. O Allah, O my Lord, these people of mine, they have abandoned the Quran. They have abandoned the Quran. Mahjur. Mahjur from hijrat. Mahjur, to leave, to abandon. They have put it behind their backs. This is something that this should worry us. That if Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam on the day of judgment was to make this appeal to Allah against us, that we abandon the Quran, then where would we stand? Would we be able to stand? Would we have any standing on that day? May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect us. Let us renew our commitment, inshallah, not only in the month of Quran, not only in the month of Ramadan, which is the month of Quran, but throughout the year, the rest of the months, inshallah, we will make an effort to understand the Quran, to come closer to the Quran, and more importantly, to bring the Quran into our lives. Wa akhiru da'wan anil hamdulillahi rabbil alameen wa ma alayna illa al balagh.